it's not that you're lazy, that's literally just how our brains are wired. One tiny little thing that makes a very big difference in my entire day. My name is Jean Marie. Welcome to my channel. I usually talk about productivity, having a career, and having like a home to take care of, and staying well in my mind, body, and soul while juggling all of these things. So if you're new here, welcome. Today I'll be talking about one trick or two that really helps me get out of that lazy procrastination mode to get through my to-do list that day. So I hope this helps you. Let's dive right in. In my past videos, I've shared like productivity hacks, staying on top of my schedule and making sure I stay consistent in my routine, how I use my calendar to do that, what different strategies I do to make sure I'm able to do what I need to do. But I missed one thing because I have a system set up. Yes, I have a schedule, I have a routine that is set up for me to succeed, but I am not spared of feeling lazy. I don't really want to say lazy, it's such a negative term, but we all have our moments. I think each one of us, at least for me, I can only speak for myself, I tend to procrastinate a lot. And so I had to figure out a way how to trigger myself to want to do stuff, because once I start doing something, I actually really follow through and I do them really well, and I don't do bare minimum work, but sometimes it takes me a really long time to just get started, especially when it's like a really busy week and it's so tempting to just push things off to tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And then next thing you know, it's just like a domino effect of your entire week. So my point is, I do this one tiny little thing that makes a very big difference in my entire day and week overall. But before I share, I want to give some context and background why this works for me. Apparently our brains are wired to protect us from challenges, right? To do what is easy. Be on protective mode when something is too hard. And so tasks that seem overwhelming, our brain will signal our bodies to not want to do it. So it's not that you're lazy, that's literally just how our brains are wired. So what is this little thing that I do? So again, I have my schedule all planned out. I talked about this in another video. I have strategies to make sure I avoid distractions. But what do I do to actually make me want to do what I need to do? Because a lot of times I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay, I'm on time for what I need to do, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to work out. I don't want to do the laundry. I don't want to get up. What do I do? I have my handy dandy notebook. I'm just kidding. So I have this tiny notepad and a pen on my kitchen counter. And what I do with all of the things I have on my to-do list or on my calendar, I pick like 5 to 6 things, max of 7, and I write them down here in no particular order. Some of them are harder tasks and some of them are very easy tasks, like taking my vitamins. I pick those that I will often push to tomorrow or procrastinate or forget. So for example, like on a typical, let's say Tuesday, I would say, well, the first thing I always do is I read the Bible and I spend time in prayer. Very straightforward. Da-da-da. And then I work out. If it's a rest day, obviously I don't put workout. And then I put let's say vitamins. I always put vitamins in there because I will always forget my vitamins. And you would think it's an easy task, but it's such a chore for me. Is it just me? I hate taking my vitamins and there's so many of them. Is it just me? I switched to gummies before, but then I don't really think the gummies work. I still have some gummy options. I can't have 10 gummies for 10 supplements I'm trying to take. Okay, 10 is exaggerating. I have maybe 6. And then I typically put like fold the laundry or just laundry. And then I would put, so I take creatine and I have to take it in the morning when I take vitamins. And then the second dose, I have to take it in the evening. It's just how the instructions are. So I have to do that again because I will forget. I'll put that here. And one else, okay, like film a video or like brainstorm for YouTube. Like that's one of my YouTube tasks in a week, like brainstorm on my next topic. So it looks like this. I hope it's not blurry. And then this is just gonna sit in my calendar all day. Obviously, this isn't the only thing I need to do that day. I have like work, I have other priorities, like if I have to pick up the kids, I have a million other things to do. But these are things that, again, I would typically forget or I typically like push off. And so this would just be sitting in my kitchen counter. And I would typically write them down. I say typically a lot. I would generally write them down first thing in the morning when I wake up or before I go to bed the night before. And so it's right there by the counter where I see it all the time because I'm always going in the kitchen. And then I always try to get the first two things out of the way, which is my Bible and prayer time. That's the first thing I do in the morning, and then workout. So I'm always so excited to like tick them off. Like that tells me and tells my brain like, wow, I already ticked off 2 things. I just need to do 4 more. And 2 of them are vitamins, so it's easy. So it gives me like that feeling of success and like I can do this. And so obviously I can take off vitamins. You would think it's so easy for me to like just do vitamins. Sometimes it's sitting at my work desk for like 3 hours and I'm just staring at it and I'm just like, I don't want to take you yet. My point is, this little list kind of makes my brain think that it's not so bad. It's just 6 things. And now that you did 2 things, it's just 4 things. So it's just like kind of tricking my brain. That's one strategy. But then a lot of times I'm like done with 4 things and I'm like down to 2 things. Folding the laundry and brainstorming for YouTube. Then I see the pile of laundry and it's overwhelming to me. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to push it off to tomorrow. And brainstorming YouTube, I'm just like, I'm too tired, you know. These are things I'd want to put off. But then I look at my list, I'm like, I just need to do 1 more. If I can just do 1 more. Another thing I do to trick my brain, aside from this little list that I love, I tell myself to just do 1 step. The first step for that task. So let's say for folding the laundry, our laundry is in the basement, and I usually fold in our TV area in the basement, or I bring it up here so I can like see it, because out of sight, out of mind. If I don't see that hamper that needs to be folded, I won't fold it. So the 1 step I would do for that is I'll be just like, just go get the hamper and put it here. Like that's 1 step. And the moment you trigger that 1 step, you would just do it. You know, I bring the hamper here and then I would just start folding because I already did the first step, and you'd realize like, you know what, let me just do it. An example, like for brainstorming for YouTube, like typically my workspace here is like my corporate job laptop and my extra screen. It doesn't have my personal laptop to do YouTube work. Sorry if I'm looking at the screen. And so my first step for that would just be to close my work laptop, put it away, and replace it with my personal laptop where I do YouTube work. And that way my space is ready. I just ready it for me. Even if I'm not mentally ready to do the task, at least it's physically ready and the hard part is done. And a lot of times it just makes it easy to just like, okay, I'm just gonna start doing it. Just do the first step, because again, our brain gets overwhelmed by this gigantic task. And so just rewire your brain that, you know, I only need to do this first step. Let me just do this 1 little step, not the entire task. And then you'll notice that you're gonna just keep doing the rest of the the steps, and then the next thing you know, you're done. For example, right? If my task is working out, sometimes it's really hard to get started, but the moment I get started to work out, like, it's actually fun. I actually like what I'm doing. But working out is one of those things that is really, really hard to drag yourself to start. And so what I do, I just go downstairs, because I have this little gym downstairs, and I just, let's say if my workout for that day is cycling, I just put on the cycle shoes. Like, I don't want to cycle right now, but let me just put on my cycle shoes. And guess what? After my cycle shoes are on, I can't really walk anywhere, so I'm just gonna go on the bike and just do it. You know, it's kind of just like a mind trick. Yeah, so those two things really do help me. One thing also that helps is each time I finish a task, and sometimes I go overboard with this, I do reward myself. Let's say I was able to finish my entire load of laundry to be folded, or I just did my YouTube task, or I just finished a workout. Give yourself a little reward, like maybe make yourself a little matcha. I relax a little bit and like do some internet scrolling. That's one thing also that's exciting, because like as you're doing your task, or as you're like programming your mind, you're like, okay, I want to make myself a matcha, but let me do this first and then I'll give myself a matcha. So it feels good, and then your brain starts to think like, that feels good, let me do my next task. But I want to go back to my little notepad. I want to keep it very short. Like, I want to make it like 6. Again, 7 is maximum for me. If I put too much in the list, like, that becomes overwhelming, and it feels tedious and impossible to do, that I'm just not going to want to do them. And so a lot of times at the end of the night, I have like one last thing that I need to check off before like signing off for the day, and usually I just do it just so I could get all of them knocked out, or I'd be kind to myself and just move that over to the next day. I know that's not ideal, but sometimes I do that, and it's okay. It's just, at least you're moving one item over to the next day versus like all of them, right? And then I throw this out. And even if like a lot of them, like the vitamins, the workout, the Bible, and prayer, they're the same every day. But I like writing them down and be able to check them off and have a clean slate the next day. It feels very good. It feels productive, and it keeps me going, really. I hope that was helpful. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like that really helps narrow down a list, because again, I have systems, I have schedules. My calendar is packed with reminders, meetings, appointments. Everything is there. To-do lists, but there's nothing like putting it in a concise, straightforward, tiny little list to kind of help you feel that it's doable. Like, because let me show you how my calendar looks like. And I'm not saying I'm not going to use my calendar. The calendar helps me just stay on track of my schedule and things I need to do. But this calendar is my personal calendar, my schedule, when to work out, when to pray, when to pick up the kids, when to do soccer, and then my work calendar with all the meetings. Like, yes, it reminds me of what I need to do, but this is what my calendar looks like. Okay, this is how my calendar looks like. Hello. It's helpful to just keep me on track with my schedule, that I don't miss anything. But in terms of the to-do list that doesn't really have like a time, like folding the laundry or whatever, it really helps to have that little tiny list that makes it so achievable. Like, yeah, I can do that list. Anyway, I hope that helps. It helps me. And let me know in the comments if you have other tips and tricks to help you get out of that procrastination mode. And would love to hear your thoughts if you try this out, if you don't do this already. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any other suggestions and what other things I can cover. So excited to share more to you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.